Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for taking some time to listen to my presentation. And on behalf of Accelera and the team, we would like to thank you. And Accelera has developed and designed a wearable technology for treating neurological disorders such as cerebral palsy. And I'd like to start this presentation with a recent video that we collected from a clinical study at the Children's Hospital of Richmond, Virginia. This is a 3-year-old boy that has never walked on his own before. And you'll see on the left, there is no stimulation on his ankles. On the right, he's wearing our devices. And he's looking for balance and grab points, support from his mother. And on the right-hand side, you're witnessing his very first steps. Now, cerebral palsy is a children's condition that happens at birth. It lasts a lifetime. And like many other neurological disorders, treatments range from physical therapy to drugs to surgery causing pain and multiple side effects. And today, the lifetime healthcare cost per individual in the United States is approximately $1 million. Now, our study down at Children's Hospital over the last year determined the effect of the device on children and adults with cerebral palsy. The clinical results demonstrated that our technology improves ability to move, joint position, and speed and accuracy in these children. Now, our solution is based on 2 scientific principles. The first being proprioception and the second being stochastic resonance. Now, proprioception is the body's ability to know where it is in space and time, and it connects the body's entire neural network, which provides us the ability to perform simple tasks such as closing our eyes and touching our nose. And that would be a sign of healthy proprioception. Stochastic resonance is a methodology that we're using for amplifying weak signals like proprioceptive signals. The patient can comfortably wear this device that we are calling the SRS wrap and perform their daily activities, therapy sessions, and exercise. It can be worn on the arm, the wrist, leg, or ankle, depending on the specific needs of the individual. Our universal device that you see on the left can be applied anywhere on the body. And this is a very simple device. The operation is as simple as putting the device on, setting the stimulation levels, and then performing daily activities. Accelera's technology has the potential to provide a paradigm-shifting therapeutic approach for cerebral palsy. The doctors, the clinicians, the patients, and parents who have experienced Accelera are all asking for our technology. Our business model is straightforward. This is a proven model that our team has used. We will sell clinical kits to the 1,500 physical rehab hospitals and 38,000 private clinics in the United States. Those clinical kits will drive personal device sales. Clinicians will work with patients and determine effect and then refer them to Accelera for a personal device at a personal cost of $500 per unit. Maintaining that business model, we will start bringing clinical data to these clinicians, and we'll start expanding into neuropathy, essential tremors, elderly balance, all of these which we have clinical data and research data supporting the effective, positive effect of the technology. Now, we understand that the #1 indicator for business success and the quality of the team. So we've taken great care in recruiting a team that is highly experienced. Myself, I'm a co-founder, and Karen Gregory, our second co-founder. We've put a team together that are experienced in all aspects of business, including management, engineering, operations, manufacturing, finance, regulatory, marketing, sales, and much more. This is a very entrepreneurial team. We work extremely well together, and everyone on this team has a commitment for building a great company. So our path to date, we have an exclusive license from Harvard University where this technology was originally developed. We have received 3 separate grants from the Maine Technology Institute. Our manufacturing partner, Saunders Electronics, has contributed time, materials, and labor. We have submitted 2 SBIR grants and 1 R21 grant. We have completed a small clinical study at the Children's Hospital, Richmond, Virginia, and we are a recent winner in this Global Children's Health Challenge. We are standing on the shoulders of great institutions. Our technology is backed by invested $4 to $5 million in science research development, and we have strong IP leading institutions, placing Accelera in a position of strength. Our plan will require a $5.5 million capital raise over the next 3 years, which will bring us to a profitability in year 4. In the first $2 million, a tranche of $300,000 will be used to pre-market activities, and the balance of $1.7 million will be used for developing sales, product build, clinical studies, and marketing. So our plan is to achieve 10% market share of the US cerebral palsy market in our 5th year. This represents a revenue of approximately $52 million in sales, with a targeted gross profit of 80% and a net profit exceeding $12 million. And I would like to say thank you and join us in making a life-changing difference in thousands of lives of children and adults. I'm ready for some questions.
Thank you, Michael. Wonderful presentation. Does anyone have any questions for Michael?
Mike, it may be helpful if you put your contact information in the chat box as well. That way people can find it later.
Will do, Cody.
Mike, this is Shaheen here. You mentioned you're going to raise about $5 million. What is the use of funds?
The 5.5 million, the first 2 million will be used on some pre-market activities regarding our FDA path, social media, marketing, developing our market, and then we will launch in about 6 to 12 months with the first tranche of 300,000. The 1.7 would be used over the next year for building product and moving into the market, and then the additional funding of the 2 and 1.5, 3.5 million over the next 2 years after that, years 3 and 4, will be used for purely product development, marketing, some clinical study work, and it's all pretty much all going into sales activities.
And so at this present point, you have an MVP, yes? I saw the device on the ankles. So the
Yes.
product's already developed.
The product is developed, and in fact, holding one right here in my hand. And this is we've probably gone through 4 iterations of prototypes, and we've tested this last one. We've had very good success with it, and it works. We know it works. We know we can produce it at a profit, and we have a team that can sell.
Do you have an idea of your cost of goods sold on this one?
Yes, right now we're looking at the prototyping stage at a price point of, let's say, $500. Shaheen, we will have about a 58% gross profit right now, and so we've identified opportunities for bringing costs down. Volume will certainly be our friend, and we can, with high confidence, get to the 80% gross margin on this at that price point. And this is a platform that we can use for a multitude of different products, applications on the body, such as back and shoulder, but we don't have to change the core technology. So the volume will just improve cost of goods.
So Mike, there's a question in that chat box that says, that's asking, could it be applied for Down syndrome?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. That's never been tested, so I can't say with confidence that it would, but that is not an area that we've been looking at.
Okay.
So just tweaking that question, Michael, this is Anand from Singapore. What are the other areas that you're looking at apart from cerebral palsy?
Well, we do have good information, good materials from Harvard University and Harvard Medical that this is very effective on balance and gait, and that will be an area that we're going to be looking at. We know that it has some effect on neuropathy, when you're working around the ankle, it helps improve coordination and movement for people that are suffering from that problem. Essential tremors is an area that we have an interest in down the road. And our chief medical advisor, who's also the head of the Spaulding Rehab Medicine, really has a strong opinion that one of the areas that we need to go look at is back rehab. But right now, our beachhead is cerebral palsy.
Hey, Michael, Sam here. Great work. Question or an idea. Have you thought about including this in different clinical trials for like DMD patients, for example, where you can start to measure gait in those patients and create a new endpoint in those clinical trials for those patient types?
Which, please say again, Sam, which type of patients?
Well, the one that came to my mind was Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, but I mean, but that's just one example. Any patient type who might be immobile, multiple sclerosis, perhaps gait could be an endpoint measurement in the clinical trials themselves. So including something like this in a clinical trial, and then not necessarily to test it, but to establish or develop a new clinical endpoint. You could potentially kind of couple this with a device where you kind of collect this data electronically on the patients, put this up into the cloud, follow patients over time. You can look at the natural history or natural course of a disease over time, for example. So I'm just throwing out an idea and maybe something that you might be able to also monetize this through.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought, Sam. I know one of the things that we've proposed right now that we'd like to do is to extend our study work with cerebral palsy right now, and to tie this technology with accelerometers, so that we can get more of a closed feedback system, so that we can, see what the stimulation is actually doing as far as hard data. So we could look at, movement, speed of movement, accuracy of movement. So we actually have the recent SBIR grant that we just submitted was based on that very thing. But we do see this as an opportunity, and I think second, third generation out, which we're probably talking, 1 or 2 years, once we get rolling, we do have an accelerometer on board on this device. We've just never built the software and the algorithms to go with it. And one of the organizations we'll be working with is the Motion Study Lab at Spaulding with Paulo Bonato to help determine the correct algorithms once we get this figured out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
Any other questions for Michael?
Well, I really appreciate everyone's time here.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it too.
Okay.
Great